Hello and welcome to Avonmouth ERF. I'll be taking you through the CDM induction presentation for this year's outage. Hello and welcome to Avonmouth ERF. I'll be taking you through the CDM induction presentation for this year's outage. Safety is Viridor's #1 priority. HomeSafe describes Viridor's approach to safety and has been designed to inspire a real change in a company's safety culture. This applies to all staff and contractors on site, especially during times of outage when the site is busier than usual. HomeSafe puts a personal responsibility for safety at the heart of everything we do and empowers individuals to take the lead on safety. These are our health and safety goals for the outage. To achieve 0 accidents and incidents, to achieve 0 riddle or lost time injuries, to report all accidents, incidents and near misses however minor, to ensure all safety observations are recorded, to ensure all accidents, incidents and near misses are investigated within 24 hours. Please remember, all accidents, incidents and near misses must be reported to a member of the Viridor ERF staff. CDM is short for Construction, Design and Management Regulations, brought in back in 2015 to improve the health and safety in construction. The outage is covered by CDM regulations because the scope of works being undertaken falls out of what would normally be considered as general routine maintenance and is now considered a construction site for the period of the outage. You are not authorised to commence work on the CDM project until you completed the full induction process detailed in this slide. You must ensure that you follow the process and are in possession of a tally tag where required, a helmet sticker and a contractor's lanyard. If you have any questions regarding this process, please speak with your supervisor or a member of the Avonmouth ERF team. Here is your Avonmouth ERF management team for the outage. Ian Priest is our acting plant manager, Alan Fletcher is our acting engineering and maintenance manager, Reese Norris as our operations manager, and Eddie Boucher is the safety and compliance manager. Under the CDM regulations, there are various key roles and responsibilities. These include the client, the principal designer, and the principal contractor. The name of those for the outage are displayed on the screen. BA Rescue will be providing confined space management and security services on site. Please think of them as an extension of the Viridor team, and they'll be able to answer any questions you may have around confined spaces or safety in general. This slide shows the major works being undertaken during this year's outage. If you have any questions, please reach out to a member of the Viridor staff. All personnel must wear personal protective equipment. The mandatory minimum PPE requirement on plant is listed here. Safety helmet, safety boots, eye protection, gloves, and a high-vis vest with long-sleeve clothing, and trousers. There are certain areas on site that will require additional PPE that will be clearly signposted. Additional PPE will also be required for specific activities as indicated within the task-specific RAMs. Please ensure you follow these. Your employer must provide all of this. PPE will be monitored at all times on site, and any non-conformances with the standards will be raised with the individual and their line manager. Due to the reactive nature of this year's outage, the welfare and site layout will be split into 2 phases, which are detailed in this slide pack. This stage details the plans for the period between the 2nd of April and the 6th of April. Here is an aerial view of the site. The weighbridge is located at Gate 1. The entrance to the Viridor staff admin car park is where you'll be parking your vehicles for the first stage of the outage. Please use Gate 2. The security office will be via the main reception. The welfare will be in the Polymers building, which will be directed via signage and from the main entrance to the ERF. The permit office is in the usual place on level 3 of the admin building. During the initial stages between the 2nd and the 6th of April, you must always enter and leave site through the ERF reception. This can be found at the entrance to the site and is displayed on the screen. You must sign in and out when leaving site at any time. From the 2nd until the 6th of April, please ensure that you always leave site via the ERF reception. This can be found on the screen and is at the entrance to site via Gate 2. You must sign in and out when leaving the site at any time. From the period of the 2nd until the 6th of April, you must always enter and leave site through the ERF main reception, ensuring that you sign in and out using the book. This is to ensure that we comply with the fire regulations, and should there be an event of a fire, we know who is in site at all times. The ERF reception can be found at the entrance to site as displayed on the screen. There is a strictly no smoking or vaping anywhere on site apart from the designated smoking area. There is a designated smoking shelter shown on the screen, which is at the front of the ERF. Please ensure you dispose of all cigarette butts in the bins provided. From the 2nd of April until the 6th of April, the muster point is located in the ERF main car park. All contractors must make their way there as quickly as possible and make sure that you have been accounted for by the Viridal Fire Marshals. You'll only be allowed back into your work area when the all clear has been given by a member of the Avonmouth ERF staff. Do not leave site unless instructed to do so by Avonmouth ERF staff. There are also a number of automated external defibrillators on site, including the weighbridge, the level 4 control room, and the ground floor of the boiler hall. As previously mentioned, contractor welfare will be split into 2 phases. From the 2nd until the 6th of April, car parking is located at Gate 2. Remember, you must reverse park. Please car share wherever possible. The offices and welfare facilities will be clearly signposted from the Avonmouth ERF main reception. Female toilet facilities will also be available. You as a contractor are fully responsible for the security of your own belongings and equipment whilst you are on site. The following slides detail the arrangements for the Phase 2 of the welfare arrangements from the 7th of April onwards. Here is an aerial view of the site. The weighbridge is located at Gate 1. The entrance to the Viridal Staff Admin Car Park is located at 2. Entrance to the contractor car park and welfare facilities from this stage onwards is located off Abbots Lane at Gate 3. There will be a road signage to direct you to the Outage Village on the north of site. The security office is at the entrance to the Outage Village. The main admin building is on the south side of site. The permit office is located at level 3 of the admin building. From the 7th of April onwards, the muster point is located in the Contractors Village car park. All contractors must make their way there as quickly as possible and make sure you've been counted for by the Viridal Fire Staff Marshals. You will only be allowed back into your work area when the all clear has been given by a member of the Avonmouth ERF staff. Do not leave the site unless instructed to do so by Avonmouth ERF site. There are also a number of automated external defibrillators on site, which are located at the weighbridge, the control room on level 4, and the ground floor of the boiler hall. Contractor welfare from the 7th of April onwards. Car parking will be located in Gate 3 off Ableton Lane. Remember, you must reverse park, and please car share wherever possible. Offices and welfare facilities will be clearly signposted. A female toilet facility will be available in the Outage Village. From this phase onwards, under no circumstances should contractors be using the Viridal staff facilities. You as a contractor are fully responsible for the security of your own belongings and the equipment whilst you're on site. From the 7th of April onwards, you must always enter and leave site through the security office and sign in and out via the sign-in book. This is to ensure that we are complying with the fire regulations and are aware of who is on site should there be a fire. The site security office can be seen on the screen. No smoking is allowed on site except in the designated smoking areas. This includes vaping. From the 7th of April onwards, there will be a designated smoking shelter in the contractor's welfare. Please ensure you dispose of all cigarette butts in the bins provided. The site speed limit is 9 miles per hour on external roads and 5 miles per hour internally. Observe all safety signs and traffic signals whilst on site. Mobile phones are not to be used on plant except in an emergency. No photography is allowed without the express permission of site management team. It is strictly forbidden to steal, cause willful damage, consume alcoholic drinks or drugs, or bring illegal substances onto site, or engage in any other activities which could jeopardize the safety of any person. Such behavior will not be tolerated. Viridor reserves the right to conduct random searches of both people and vehicles entering and exiting a site. Entry may be refused, or you may be asked to leave site if items found during a search cause concerns for health, safety, and welfare of all on site.
If you do not comply with the site rules,
We have a
you may
number
be
of
issued
site
with a
rules
yellow
on
or
site.
red card.
If you do not comply
A
with the
red
site
card
rules,
means
you
that
may
you
be
have to
issued
leave the
with a
site
yellow or
immediately,
red card.
and listed
A
on the
red card
screen are
means you
just a
have
few
to
of the
leave site
examples of
immediately.
infringements that would
Listed
lead
here
to
are
a
just a
card
few
being issued.
examples of the infringements that could lead to cards being issued. The Operations Control Room is responsible for coordinating all emergency responses for fire, first aid, or spillages, and this would be done through the duty shift team leader. If you discover a fire, raise the alarm immediately and inform a member of the Avonmouth ERF staff. Everyone on site must go to the muster point as quickly as possible if the evacuation alarm sounds. Not responding or responding slowly may lead to a yellow card being issued. Our fire alarms are tested weekly at 10 o'clock every Thursday. When the alarm goes off in the instance, please do not do anything. If the alarm continues to go off or you hear the alarm at any other point during the week, you must proceed to the muster point immediately. The tap water in the welfare facilities is drinkable and there will be bottled water available on plant. Please ensure that all of your waste is placed in the bins provided and ensure that all electrical equipment brought to site is PAT tested. All tasks require a safety document. Your risk assessment and method statement must be provided a minimum of 72 hours in advance of work commencement. A Viridor Senior Authorised Person, or more commonly known as an SAP, will issue your safety document to protect you from system-derived hazards. The Point of Work Risk Assessment, POWER for short, must be collected from the PERM office when your safety document is issued. The POWER must be completed by your nominated supervisor before work starts. General safety must be established by the nominated supervisor and recorded on the POWER before the start of each working period. Any questions you have on this process, please contact a member of the ERF staff.
This slide will discuss certain aspects of the permit system. All permits must be surrendered each time you leave site and at the end of every day at the permit office only. Hot work requires a specific permit due to the fire alarm and automatic sprinkler system. No hot works can be undertaken without a permit. General safety. General safety includes, but is not limited to, tools, ensuring you are using the correct tools and equipment, safe access and egress, the correct working method for the job location, the correct PPE for the task, and the working area itself. This is a supervisor's responsibility. Working areas must be tidied up in line with your POWER safety requirements. Competent person and nominated supervisor training. The supervisor of each work group, or single person if working alone, must have completed a competent person and nominated supervisor training. Please contact the permit office for more information.
The most common confined spaces on site are as follows. To enter or work in a confined space, you must have the correct training, certification, equipment, and permit before entering a confined space. You must log in at the entrance and hand over your tally tag. You may exit the confined space at a different level from which you entered it, so you must return to your entry point to log out and pick your tally tag back up. A klaxon or air horn will be used as the evacuation signal for confined spaces. Working at height will be part of the risk assessment and method statement produced before commencement of any work. This can vary from the use of a mute to the use of rope access. Please ensure that what is written in the RAMs provided is followed exactly and to clip on where appropriate and using the access equipment correctly. If using ladders, then they must be inspected by a competent person and have correct inspection tags. Always visually inspect ladders before use and ensure that they are stored correctly. It is Viridor's policy that ladders are used for access only and should not be used for work that could go on for a considerable amount of time. Please consult your supervisor if you are unsure of any of this. All scaffolding must be erected, maintained and inspected in strict accordance with current legislation and only by competent, authorised personnel. The scaffolding team for the Avonmouth ERF outage will be Raynham's, so please consult them for any questions on scaffolding. Before using it, you must carry out your own individual visual inspection, and if you have any concerns or find any defects, report them immediately to a member of the Viridor ERF staff and Raynham's, and do not use the scaffold until it's been properly inspected and repaired. If you're undertaking any welding activities on site, you must comply with the new HSE regulations and put control measures in place which include RPE, respiratory protective equipment, and LEV, local exhaust ventilation. Give consideration to others working in the area and ensure that COSH assessment is in place. As a minimum, an FFP3 mask must be worn by everybody entering the boilers. If you are unsure on this, please contact your supervisor or a member of the Avonmouth ERF team. Chromium-6 has been found at a number of the Viridor outages. It is a compound that has a significant effect on health. The compound can enter the body through inhalation of dust, skin contact with solids, or swallowing dust through food handling. Such exposure over a prolonged period can cause serious health effects such as damage to the nose, inflammation to the lungs, allergic reactions on the skin if contacted, or cancer on the lungs. More information can be found on the HSE website. Some areas where the deposits have previously been observed are the furnace, the boiler drum, external surfaces of high temperature pipework and associated components, and the steam turbine inlet valves. Any personnel entering the boiler prior to grip blasting must assume that chromium-6 may be present and wear the minimum of respiratory protective equipment with an FFP3 filter to EN 140 or equivalent with a protection factor of 20. Disposable nitrile or chemical resistant gloves. Disposable corrective coveralls with a level 5 protection to EN ISO 13982. These coveralls must be removed on exiting the boiler to minimise the spread of dust, so please ensure there are spare coveralls available prior to entry. Goggles must also be worn if you are not wearing an airfare mask. Once grip blasting has been completed, we will carry out visual and swab detection to ascertain the presence of chromium-6. If there is any reason to believe that chromium-6 is still present, then neutralizing will take place, which converts the chromium to a safe isotope. Should chromium-6 be observed in any areas that are not included in the grip blasting regime, please stop work and raise this with the management team so that we can reassess and ensure that sufficient control measures are in place. If you have any questions regarding this process, please reach out to the ERF management team. Report all spillages immediately to a member of the Avonmouth ERF personnel and contain the spillage according to procedures. Spillage kits are located around the facility and are clearly signposted. Please be aware that there are areas and parts of the site that will remain fully operational during the outage. This includes the exit and the entrance to the tipping hall and the store's delivery area. The Viridor polymers plant will be partially operational throughout the duration of this outage. So remember, stay in your designated area. You must ensure that you have correctly identified the plant or the equipment before commencing work. Don't start work if you have any concerns at all about the equipment or the isolations, and remember, no work can be carried out without a permit. Good housekeeping helps prevent accidents. Remember to keep your point of work clean and tidy, ensuring walkways are kept clear and all litter is disposed of in the bins provided. Don't rely on others. Good housekeeping is everybody's responsibility. Good, clear communication is vital and will help support a successful outage. There will be a daily team meeting and progress meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning in the ground floor admin block meeting room. These will be attended by the site management team, the SAP, the STL and a supervisor from each of the contractors. Please ensure that you feedback any news and updates to your supervisor prior to these meetings. A progress meeting will be held in the same location at 4 p.m. every day. If standards fall below the expected standards, then all site stock may be used. Be aware that there will be a higher volume of people on site than normal, and that many of them will be unfamiliar with site. Think about the tasks that you're doing and how it might impact on others. Look out for one another, even if they're not part of your team. We all want a successful outage and a safe outage. Two-way radios will be made available to contractors. The channel users are as shown on the screen. Channel 1 is used by the Viridor control room and emergencies. Channel 2 is used for the weighbridge and waste operations. Channel 3 is used for the Viridor and engineering maintenance team. All contractors will be on channel 6, 7 and 8. Please be respectful and limit use to essential communication only. All work parties must have at least one radio. All radios must be signed in and out via the BA rescue team. Contractors must liaise with their site contact if they are expecting a delivery. All goods must be signed for by the contractor's site supervisor. Viridor will not take responsibility for your deliveries. If you require any goods from the Viridor, then they must be booked out using the site stocks requisition system. Contractors are responsible for managing the removal of equipment, tools, spares and stocks from site. Anything left over after the outage is finished may be removed from site. As a waste management site, we have a duty of care to inform you of a disease called leptospirosis or Weil's disease that is transmitted to humans through contact with infected rat urine. There is a serious and sometimes fatal infection that can start with flu-like symptoms but can lead to serious complications and possibly death. You can reduce the risk of transmission by wearing protective clothing and washing your hands after working on site and always before eating, drinking or smoking. There are various bait boxes on site and we have a pest control service agreement in place. If you have any questions, please speak to a member of Viridor staff. CCT operates across the whole site and is used for safety and security purposes. Please be aware that you will be on camera whilst working, and this can be used in the event of accidents, near misses, and for general site compliance. Finally, I'd like to thank you very much for your time today, and please remember that if you're unsure about anything, you must ask. There's no such thing as a silly question, and never assume. Let's ensure that everybody gets home safe.